Alright everybody, we are back with the Radiance, and let's get back into it. Let's go. Alright, just outside the alchemy classroom, I catch sight of my lab partner surrounded by a small group of students. There's a lot of shouting. What's going on? I don't know why they'd even let someone like you in here. You're a danger to us all. Now, isn't that a bit dramatic? How could I possibly be a danger to you? We never know when you're gonna woof out, do we? Your animal brain can't think clearly. It's a school full of mutts kicked you out. You must be extra bad. First of all, not a wolf. What was that? I said I'm not a wolf. Suddenly, the student in front of Kai shoves him hard. The move was so sudden that Kai's fox-like reflexes couldn't prepare for it. Kai stumbles back, falling into another student standing behind him. That student proceeds to shove him again towards the ground this time. Instinctively, I rush towards the scene, adrenaline pumping. I yell out loud enough that they all look towards me. Hey! 4 pairs of eyes look in my direction. I realized I hadn't actually thought about what I was going to say. Oh look, the beast's girlfriend has come to his rescue. If he can even take care of himself, maybe we shouldn't be scared of him after all. Wouldn't make so many assumptions. I'm pretty sure the Oracle could take a few wimps in a fight. Kai hasn't bothered to pull himself off the ground, but his carefree smile is visible. The angry student steps towards me, looking me up and down. She ain't the Oracle yet, and she might never be if she keeps hanging around the likes of you. He takes another step closer, and I decide it's time to stop this. We're gonna be lawful. Threaten to turn him in. You sure you want to start something? Professor Daniel is 5 feet away, and one scream, he'll come running. The guy's eyes widen, and he makes a sort of sputtering sound before turning away from me. You're both crazy. The guy stomps off down the hallway, the rest of his entourage following closely after. My hero. I look down at Kai, who is still on the ground. He's reaching up towards me as if he expects me to sweep him into my arms. I reach a hand out to him. Are you okay? Of course, those idiots can't hurt me. Letting them think that they've defeated me is a classic Kitsune tactic. They're more likely to back off if I don't push back. He takes my hand and I pull him up. He grimaces but tries to hide it quickly. You are hurt. What? No. You're limping. That's just how I normally walk. What? You haven't noticed? I smack him on the arm and he feigns, shocked to my attack. You idiot, you need to go to the nurse. And miss another exciting alchemy experiment? No way. You're going, even if I have to drag you there myself. Okay, you're a pushy as those meatheads. I wait in the hallway while Kai sees the nurse. I wonder why those guys were giving Kai such a hard time. He did tell me that the Therians were not always accepted among Radiants, but I didn't expect to see this kind of bullying. Kai didn't seem too concerned about it, but it bothers me. All done, just as you ask. He waves around his nurse's note. It's just a little sprain, nothing to worry about. Now, can we head back? We can still have 30 minutes of potion time. We head back towards the class hall, but I can't stop thinking about what happened. Why were those guys giving you such a hard time? Because they're idiots. Idiots that like to feel superior to others. Sure, but is this just because you're a Therian? That's a big part of it. They don't bother to learn much about us, so naturally they fear what they can't understand. Did you really get kicked out of your other school? In a manner of speaking. You told me before that was just transferred. Isn't it the same thing, really? Well, one is voluntary. Suddenly, Kai yells out, grabbing his leg. Ow! Oh no! I think my sprain is worse than I thought. I may need to go lie down. What? Really? How can I help? Well, some candy might be nice. Candy? You know, the kind that they sell at the school store? Those little red chewy ones? Are you trying to guilt me into buying you candy? Guilt you? I'm offended. I'm a very sick Kitsune who loves candy. You said you were fine. Are you gonna deny me one request? He blinks at me, attempting an innocent expression. Of course I'm not fooled for a second. How about you just go back to your room and rest a while? Rest is much better than candy. I beg to differ. Kai pouts a little, but lets it go, returning to his normal jovial state. Okay then, Dr. Nori, I'll do as you ask. One afternoon of rest coming up, but I might need you to carry me there. Don't push it. Okay, just a simple escort will be fine. I drop Kai off at his room and he promises to stay off his leg for the afternoon. He really didn't want to talk about getting kicked out of Riverscar. What could he have done? My curiosity is strong, but I also don't want to push him to share. Maybe if he trusts me more, he'll eventually tell me what happened. Alright, elective time. There we go. Loading is a little slow, I don't know why. Alright. Oh, I'm not reading all that. Jesus. No. My room is empty when I return that evening. Rayla must be busy elsewhere. I suppose now would be a good time to figure out how I'm going to solve the mystery of the creepy note. Rayla suggested I just ask Arian to see if they're registered as students, but is it really the best idea? I haven't known Arian to be giving even in the best of times, but perhaps there's a way I can convince him. On the other hand, it may be impossible to sneak into the office when he's not there. What's the harm in borrowing a list of students for a while? Ugh, why can't my oracle powers just tell me who wrote the note? Then I wouldn't have to be having this conversation with myself. Of course, I haven't exactly tried to figure out the question by these means. Who's to say I couldn't somehow figure it out? Let's meditate. What good is it being an oracle if my gifts can't help me when I might be in trouble? I may not have advanced to the level I like, but I'd managed to do some things with my gifts since my arrival. I am sure I can do this. I pull out the note and stare at it, concentrating on the tangible object is supposed to help in situations like this. I close my eyes, breathing deeply, and as I've been taught in my classes, clear your mind, focus on an object, breathe in, breathe out. After what feels like an eternity, I start to see something. No, more like feel something. It's not like my previous visions that were a rush of images in my mind. There is much softer, like a slow flickering inside me. However, attempting to grasp onto this feeling is more difficult than I had imagined. I just need to get a little closer, but it's moving away from me. I can't hold on to it. I open my eyes, frustrated. It takes everything I have not to tear the note to shreds. I am so close. Maybe if I try to draw it like we did in the card exercise in the Azurite class. Arian told me that letting your mind tell the story through another medium was an effective way to pull out a clearer image. Of course, I hadn't exactly been successful during that exercise. I grab a few pens and pencils along with my notebook. I don't have as many colors as I did during the class exercise, but luckily I bought a small array of colored pens for my failed journaling exercises back home. This should be enough. I repeat my meditation. This time my hand is poised over the notebook. And again, it takes a long time for me to get that feeling, the feeling of being on the brink of revelation. I'm actually a little surprised when my hand starts moving, picking up pens and scrawling onto the notebook. I keep my eyes closed, knowing that if I look, I'll lose it all again. Let your mind do the work. In a few moments, my hand stops, my mind clears, and I don't feel like I know anything more than I did when I started, but that's what the drawing is for. I peer at the page, apprehensive. What if it's nothing? What if it's a blurry mess, like my last attempt? But it's not a blurry mess. The image I see is very clear. Eyes, violet eyes, slanted in such a way that it appears through the eyes are judging me. Behind the eyes, I've drawn a doorway. What does it mean? The eyes look familiar somehow. Who do I know with these eyes? Then it comes to me, lightning straight to my brain. Oh my god, it's Dex. Why would Dex send me a note like this? No time to think about it now, but I'm going to have to make a point to question Dex soon. Now I've got to tell Rayla what I found. Yay, we did it. What? Dex, the creepy guy with the coat? Do you even know him? He's in my mystery club. He's in the mystery club with me, but he's always kind of standoffish. He doesn't talk much. Has he done anything strange before? Well, there was that one time I caught him hanging around outside our door. What? When? A couple of weeks ago. He claimed he was just checking to see if I was doing okay. That's kind of strange. I thought so too at the time, but I kind of forgot about it now that I think about it. That was right after I received the note. It's so obvious now. I still don't get the motive. You barely know him, yet he found it important enough to warn you and then check up on you. It doesn't make sense. No, it really doesn't. Do you think I should question him? Maybe, though if he were going to be forthcoming, he wouldn't have been sneaking around in the first place, would he? So there must be some reason he doesn't want me to know it's him. He doesn't strike me as a type to be anti-authority in general, and I'm not sure if I should take him seriously. My advice, just watch him for now. He's a strange guy. This could all be some weird joke he's playing. If he does anything else, you can grill him. I think you're right. Based on my interactions with him in the club, I get the feeling he's a little paranoid. He doesn't seem to trust anyone or anything. His warning might just be that, paranoia. In any case, I didn't get a particularly malevolent vibe from the council during our meeting. They're a bit stuffy and a lot intimidating, but evil, I don't know. Does this mean you're not worried anymore? I'm in a completely foreign society. Of course I'm worried. I just decided I'm not going to focus on it. That's what I'm telling myself anyways. Alright, then we just stop talking immediately and just go to bed. We just head to bed in mid-conversation. It's time for this week's club meeting. Gather around, everyone. I hope you are prepared because today we've got 2 visitors from Starminster Academy ready to answer all of your burning questions. She addresses the members with great enthusiasm, and they quickly gather around the table placed in front of the room. They seem excited to hear what the guests have to say. I can barely see over the gaggle of students crowded around. Everyone, please give a righteous Sarenville Mystery Club welcome to Fauna and Rise Starminster. Their arrival is greeted by a loud round of applause. I join in along with most of the rest of the class. Some of the students seem particularly interested in the male student giggling behind their hands and staring. I crane my neck to catch a glimpse of the guy over the crowd, and when I do, my mouth drops open. He looks like, but it can't be. It looks like Alistair. I turn to the girl sitting next to me and whisper under my breath, "Who is that guy?" Ooh, that's Rise, the Princess Starminster. Princess Starminster. Not a literal prince, it's just a nickname they gave him because he's so dreamy. I look back at Rise. He seems to be enjoying the attention from the surrounded students, but his eyes are fixated on Tanya, who is addressing the room once more. Okay, now that we have some introductions out of the way, let's jump right in. Who has a question for our guest? The club members scramble to ask their questions to 2 students from Starminster, but I can't pay attention to what they're saying. How can Alistair be standing here in front of me? He's dead, isn't he? I squirm in my seat, trying to hide the discomfort from the rest of the club, but they are clearly distracted, so thankfully my reaction has gone unnoticed. I need to talk to this Rise guy, but I can't do it in front of others. I'll have to wait until the meeting is over. When I find a chance, I'll slip out of the room and approach him in private. Until then, I can only listen to the questions that are answered. What do you think of Sarenville? It's beautiful. I mean, the view is amazing, and the grounds are well kept, and all the buildings are pretty fancy, too. Rise turns to face the girl who asked the question, and she erupts into giggles. And you haven't met any people you are interested in? Let's try to stay on topic. We are here to ask about mysteries of Starminster Academy. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. So are there any strange occurrences at the academy? Any rumors or anything? That's an easy one. Yes, there are. There's a story of the lost library. Apparently it used to be located somewhere in the middle of the campus, but it was destroyed during a fire, but there's no trace of it anywhere. No sign of damage or even ashes remaining. That's fascinating. How do we know it existed at all? Well, according to legend, some of the books were saved and hidden away throughout the school. If you can find them all, you will be rewarded handsomely. The questions keep coming, but my thoughts are elsewhere. I am anxious for the meeting to end so I can question Reese in person. Finally, the meeting ends and the club members disperse. I linger behind, waiting for my opportunity to approach Rise, my heart pounding as I take a deep breath and stand up, hoping I don't make a fool out of myself. Excuse me, Rise? He turns around to face me and he gives me a look of resignation when he sees me. Look, I already told the other girls I'm not signing any autographs today. I didn't ask you to sign anything. Then why are you talking to me? I just wanted to ask you something. Yeah, and what might that be? This may seem like a strange question, but do you happen to have a twin brother? Rye definitely isn't expecting this sort of question. He stares at me blankly before he slowly shakes his head. No, I don't. Any other relatives that look a lot like you? A cousin, maybe? I really don't know what you're getting at with this, but I don't have any relatives near my age. Are you sure? Have you ever met anyone that looks like you? You're really weirding me out. You're worse than the fangirls. I think I'd rather sign the autographs. Rye turns on his heel and walks toward the doors. I stare after him. He is not very pleasant, is he? Could it just be a coincidence that they look alike? No, they are reflections of each other, right down to the hair and clothes. This is no coincidence. This mystery just got even more baffling. Yeah, that was pretty weird, wasn't it? After history class, Professor Mordain stops me on my way out. Miss Adonis, I'm glad to see you. I wanted to check in with you. How was your first meeting with the consul? It went well, I think. They're a little hard to read, but I'm still here, so I win? Well, that's a good sign. I'm glad you're still here. Did you find any useful reading materials in the old library? I think back on the visit at the old library. The sound of the invisible someone or something breathing down my neck is still far too fresh in my mind. I better keep that bit to myself for now. However, I could tell him about the journal. As a descendant of the god of knowledge, he'd probably love to read it, but I barely had the chance to read it myself. I'm not in a hurry to pass the book off to someone else. Better keep it vague. I found something, but it wasn't what I expected. And that sounds intriguing. What did you find? I think it's just a journal, but I haven't been able to read it yet. It's in some other language. Oh, that's fascinating. Do you know the language? I'm not sure yet. I'm planning to do a bit more research on this weekend. He looks as if he's about to say something else when the student comes running up with a look of panic on their face. Professor, come quick. Violet is setting all the books on fire. Oh dear, not again. I'm afraid I must attend to this, but please let me know what you find out in the book. Sure thing, Professor. Time for today's electives. Woo woo. Yeah, my stuff is high. But theory... Oh boy. You're not concentrating hard enough. Arian's stern voice echoes in my ears, and I push the blindfold onto my forehead. My brain's exhausted. I have been visualizing colored balloons for the better part of an hour, and let me tell you, it's not any better than visualizing numbers. I'm trying. It's just really difficult to block everything out, even with the blindfold. The blindfold is a new addition to our lesson today. It did help, but there are still noises that break my concentration. If anything, the blindfold heightens my other senses, so every little sound is amplified. A clock ticking, footsteps from the hallway, a door closing from a distance, all of them pound in my ears like gunfire. You are letting your mind wander. You must learn to block outside distractions. In the real world, there will be no complete silence. I slump miserably in my chair, feeling hopeless. How am I supposed to work on visualizing with distractions when I haven't even practiced doing it without them? Arian's looking for me for a long moment and moves abruptly to the door. Is he kicking me out? Did I really do that bad that he's actually giving up on me? Gather your things. We are going to continue our lesson elsewhere. I comply. I throw my bag over my shoulder and Arian exits the room briskly. I follow him down the maze of corridors. Eventually, I realize that we are in the old closed-down wing of the Sarenvale. When he finally stops, we are in front of a large set of double doors made of solid wood and intricately, I don't know how to say that, carved. He opens the heavy-looking door with ease and gestures for me to enter. I recognize this place at once. The last time I was here, I was running from an unseen stalker that may or may not have been real. However, I was not supposed to have been here at all. Professor Mordain let me in so I could let on that I'd been here before. I keep my face composed, hoping Arian isn't doing any mind probing on me currently. This is the old library. It was used exclusively for many years before the current library was built. Now, this library is used mostly for storage of old restricted books. Restricted books? Books that students do not need to be putting their nose in, Miss Adonis. Like that green book, the one that called to me in the vision, the one that I still need to read. In any case, this place will be quiet. People rarely visit this library and the walls are virtually soundproof. You should be able to concentrate here. So Arian is trying to help me after all, imagine that. I find a seat and he sits across from me, a small table in between us. So am I going to be visualizing balloons again? No, this time I'd like you to attempt the card exercise similar to the one we practiced in your sonics class. I remember that experiment well. I was to figure out what was pictured on the card before my partner drew it from the pile. I ended up not actually seeing the card in question, but the one below it, and my vision had been blurry at best. He pulls out a small stack of cards from his coat pocket and spreads them onto the table in front of us. Instead of photos, these cards have a variety of symbols on them: a star, a circle, a set of wavy lines, a square, and a cross, all different colors. These are Zener cards. They might look familiar to you because they've actually been used in studies with humans who believe they have psychic abilities. They are mistaken, of course. The symbols of the cards are far less complex than the photos used in previous exercises, so you may be better able to see them. He picks up the cards again, shuffles them, and spreads them out on the table face down. Your task is to determine the symbol of the card I pick before I draw it. You don't know the card's position, and neither do I. Do not focus simply on the cards themselves, but also on my mind. Try to feel which card I'm about to turn over. You can sketch the symbol on the pad. Take as much time as you need. Don't worry about missing curfew. I will handle that. So he thinks I might be here a while, huh? I pull the blindfold over my eyes and settle into my chair, focusing hard on the symbols underneath those cards. Arian was right, this place is pretty quiet. The only sound I hear is my own breathing as I attempt to drift into a place between the outside and inside of my mind. I imagine Arian sitting there across from me. I visualize him reaching for a card, turning it over. Eventually I get flashes of something. Yellow, sharp edges, red, yellow again, four corners. My hand begins to move on its own, pulling a colored pencil from the box on the table. I squeeze my eyes shut, even under the blindfold, praying that whatever I'm drawing is correct. When my hand stops moving, I remove the blindfold and look down on the paper. I draw a yellow square. I look up at Arian, and he already begun reaching for a card, flipping it over on the table. It's a red cross. I hadn't imagined to get the color or shape correct. Reluctantly, I look back at Arian, expecting to see him disappointed. But he simply picks the card up and shuffles again. We continue this exercise for at least 10 more rounds. Eventually I manage to get the color right, but not the shape. I want to feel excited by the small success, but Arian's stoic demeanor makes me feel like I should be striving for much more than halfway correct. The effects of my efforts are starting to surface. My head hurts, my mind feels weakened. I'm not sure I can do this anymore. You can, you just have to be willing to push yourself, your mind, to its limits. You mean this isn't the limit? The way my head is pounding as sure as hell feels like it is. Your mind is capable of far much more than you ever realized, but you will never reach your potential if you continue to hold back. I'm not holding back. You are. You're afraid to cross that threshold, the one where your mind feels like it might shatter. Well, yeah, that sounds kind of terrifying. It's only terrifying because you haven't come close to opening your mind fully, and you're afraid of what you will do and understand. When you reach the limit, only then you will have utilized the full force of your mind. I take a deep breath. Is Arian right? Am I holding back? It's kind of hard to tell. I feel like I'm giving it my all, but then again, I was ready to stop as soon as my mind felt tired. Let's try one more exercise, one that will help you realize your limits and how you can move past them. We will use the cards again, but this time I will pull one card and concentrate on it. I want you to pull the contents of the card directly from my mind. From your mind? You mean like reading your thoughts? Exactly like that. I didn't realize that was something I could do. Can you read people's thoughts? That would explain how he seems to know everything all the time. Yes, but the skill is not without its limits. Most Radiants with strong magic have natural defenses against this sort of thing. Hold on, I'm just getting comfy. However, another mind magic user is typically more receptive. They have the ability to open and close the minds at will, letting someone in or shutting them out. I'm not entirely sure why I would ever want to let someone in my mind. Humans, however, are another matter. Why is that? They have no natural defenses, so reading a human's mind is typically very easy. It's how my people have been able to service them in the past. Humans have access to the Oculus before? Of course, before the war and perhaps not long after, they demanded we show them their futures, to tell them how they gain riches, defeat their enemies, whatever their greedy minds required. However, they did not realize that Oculi do not tell the future. We can tell them what is, or we can reach into their minds and tell them what they want to hear. I shuddered a little at the thought. I could certainly see humans of today wanting to abuse the power of an Oculus. But that's neither here nor there. I'm afraid we're straying off topic. So you want me to try to enter your mind to read your thoughts? That's right. But how? It is not so different from concentrating on the cards themselves, but the purpose of the exercise is to force you to push through your mental walls, to show just how far you are capable of going. So I'll just concentrate on your mind? Yes, but you cannot hold back. Push your mind to the limit and then keep going. Without the word, Arian shuffles the cards again and pulls one from the middle. He sits back in the chair, glances at the card, then at me. A simple nod lets me know it's time to begin. I feel like I'm completely unprepared for this, but whether it's Arian's cool confidence or my desire to just do something more, I feel a sudden surge of motivation sweep over me. Okay, let's do this. I close my eyes once more, letting the quiet of the room wash over me. I take several deep breaths, then let my mind reach out. This time I am reaching toward Arian's mind rather than the card itself. Reaching into someone's mind is an indescribable feeling. There's a sort of resistance that does not exist when attempting to see an inanimate object. Despite Arian's mind being open to the intrusion, I still feel a slight pushback. Push through the barriers. Arian's voice is soft, almost far away. I nudge harder, imagining his mind like a locked door, but it's not opening. Push harder. I grip my teeth as if that's going to somehow give my mind more strength. Somehow it works. The mental door is not open and I can see the image of the card symbol, but it's far away and unclear. Moving closer to it like trudging through the deep, heavy snow. The harder I push, the more tired I become. Keep going. I want to keep going, but I can't. The image is too far away and I'm too tired. I try to lumber through, but I'm making no progress. I can't do it. You can. I'm shaking my head, not even sure if he can see me, but it hardly matters. My mind is filled with the same two words over and over. I can't do it. Arian's voice is louder now, and it's clear he's giving me a command. My headache is splitting now. If my eyes weren't closed, I'd be certain I'd be seeing spots. I can't take this anymore. Don't stop. He's shouting now, except this shout is not a physical one. It's inside my mind. I don't like being shouted at in normal circumstances, but this is just too much. I feel an intense frustration bubbling up inside me. My pulse drums so loudly I can almost see the vibrations in my mind. I can also feel Arian's mind, looming, judging. I want it to stop. Push! With this latest mental shell, I lose it. I release everything that is inside me. All the frustration, the pain, the helplessness, the pushes outward, propelling my mind forward towards the image I've been trying to reach. I hear a loud crash, except this time the sound is not in my mind. My eyes fly open. To my horror, I see Arian picking himself up off the floor. The entire couch he'd been sitting on has been completely overturned, his body thrown backwards, my mouth drops open. What did I just do? Once he's recovered, he moves towards me, eyes blazing. I'm definitely in trouble now. He's going to shout at me even more than before. But as he comes closer, I realize he does not look angry. He looks proud. What was the symbol? It was the red circle. Very good. How did I... You fell. You finally used the full force of your mind. There are not many people who could have accomplished something like that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I trail off, not entirely sure what I want to say. When I look up at Arian standing over me, I see a hint of a smile. You've accomplished a great thing today. Don't ever be sorry for reaching your potential. It's late. We better get back. He holds out his hand to me. I take his hand and he pulls me up off the couch. As soon as I'm standing, I realize why he offered me help. My legs are too weak, like I've run a marathon. Don't worry, this is normal. You'll recover after a good night's sleep. That was weird. It was necessary. You were doubting yourself, letting your mind stay blocked. I simply wanted to release that block. I'm not sure what to say. All the anger I just felt moments ago is gone. Now I feel accomplished. Thank you for pushing me. He looks at me but doesn't say anything more. Instead, he gestures towards the door. It's time to go. I gather my things and head towards the big wooden doors. However, when I pull on the handle, the door won't budge. I try the other handle. No, this door is definitely locked. Arian comes up from behind and tries on the doors as well. Locked. From the inside? These are magical locks. They are designed to open and close at certain times. This one must be set automatically. Lock after hours, after curfew. I should have known. His face looks more upset than I've ever seen him. It's as if he's seriously mad that there's something out there he didn't consider. So what are we gonna do? We stay in here for the night? He leaves the doorway and sits back down in one of the chairs, his calm demeanor returning. What? No way, there's gotta be a way out. I bang on the door to the library. Hello? Anyone there? Open up. No one can hear you. The walls are soundproof, remember? I continue to yell for a few short moments out of pure spite. Before I give in, I return to the couch and sag into it in defeat. I have to spend the night here with Arian. The doors are likely to unlock at dawn, so it's best if we just get some sleep and wait until then. I lay down on the couch trying to get comfortable. It's not bad, I guess. At least the couch is comfy. I apologize. I open my eyes and look over at Arian, whose dark form is visible on the couch across from mine. Did I hear him correctly? What? I apologize for keeping you so late. We are stuck here because of me. No, it's fine. I mean, I wanted to keep trying this experiment too. It's my job as your tutor to make sure you abide by the rules, and it was wrong of me to keep you past your curfew in the first place. Well, I suppose the rules are important. They are, but it's up to me to make sure that they are upheld. You are just a student. You are a student too. I am held to a higher standard, not just because I'm a headmaster's assistant, but because I'm an oculi. What exactly does that mean? Every oculi is brought into this world to maintain the balance of magic in the universe. Our magic is powerful, much more powerful than the average radiant. Thusly, We are expected to be something spectacular, a leader, an inventor, an innovator, you name it. That sounds like a lot of pressure. It's not something I'm able to question, it just is. My only job in this world is to ensure greatness is used for the correct purpose. What is the correct purpose? Are you afraid that you might start robbing banks or something? Of all the oculi that have existed there, about a third of them have gone on to be virtuous. The rest, he trails off, but I know what he was about to say. Sullen. Greatness does not always equal goodness, Miss Adonis. I didn't think of it like that. I have learned that a good many of important figures in long history of Radiance have been oculi, but it has never occurred to me that those important figures might be villains instead of heroes. Do you fear it? Turning to the dark? There is a long pause, and for a moment I think he's going to ignore my question. Finally he answers, yes, but I also believe I am in control of my own actions, despite of what my kin believe. I had assumed Arian was just stuffy and prestigious, but it seems as if he really cares about being a good person. I also realize what a burden it must be for him to have so many expectations placed upon him simply because he was born of a certain race. I squirm on my couch trying to find a comfortable position. It's just hard enough to be annoying. This couch isn't very comfortable. No, it really isn't. I don't suppose either of us will be getting a good night's sleep. Definitely not, and I really need sleep to function properly. As do I. Really? I kind of expected you to be the type who was at work and no sleep. Who is all work and no sleep. I'm a user of mind magic. Rest is the most important thing for the mind, is it not? Yes, I never thought of it that way. So when I sleep in on Saturdays, I'm doing a good thing then, huh? There is such a thing as too much rest as well, Miss Adonis. I laugh, and I swear I think I heard a faint chuckle from Arian's side of the room as well. Having a completely mundane conversation with Arian is odd but comforting. I'm wondering if I had the wrong idea about him. We fall silent, and my eyes begin to droop. It's been a long day, and quite honestly, I'm exhausted. I drift off into a dreamless sleep. When the bright light of sunrise spreads across my face, I stir, pulling my covers closer to my head. Wait, covers? I sit bolt upright and realize that I'm still in the cold old library where Arian and I were locked in last night. I look down and realize I am clutching a dark blazer to my chest. This isn't my blazer, is it? Then quietly I glance over and see the still sleeping form of Arian, blazer free, lying on the couch adjacent to my own. This is his blazer. Had he placed this on me in my sleep? He looks so peaceful. Very not Arian-like. I debate my next move. We're gonna wait for him to wake up. I decide to let him sleep a little bit, but I do not leave. Instead, I place his blazer on the seat next to him and meander about the library, reading the spines of various books in the room. It's not long after that I hear Arian get up. He sits up on the couch and looks toward the window, an indescribable look on his face. When he sees me across the room, his face darkens. All signs of vulnerability I had seen last night had disappeared. It's past dawn. Why didn't you wake me up? I don't know. I thought you needed a little sleep. I needed to get back to work. He gathers his things quickly and stalks towards the door. It opens. When I don't immediately follow, he looks back. Come, I am sure you must prepare for your morning classes. Well, that was a nice time with Arian. I arrived back to my dorm and flop face first onto the bed. I guess I didn't sleep well on that old couch in the library. I look over at the clock and I don't have much time until the Azurite class. Maybe I can just close my eyes for a moment. I awake with a start. Oh no, how much time has passed? I look again to the clock and it's 5 minutes until the start of class. I know I'll never make it on time, but I dash out the door anyways. Arian probably told Professor Balin about our little library lock-in last night, so he's bound to be understanding, right? I arrive at the Azurite classroom about 15 minutes after the class had begun. I rush to my seat, barely looking to where I was going. I slide into the chair, a little out of breath, and I pull out my notebook. That's when I notice that this is not Professor Balin at the front of the class, but Arian. I breathe a sigh of relief. Arian is leading the class today. He knows about my predicament, so I'm sure he won't be mad. Miss Adonis? Arian has turned his attention to me, and now everyone else's attention is on me too. Do you think it's acceptable to waltz into my classroom whenever you feel like it? Well, no, but Arian gives a loud sigh, but his eerie towards me. He seems to dissipate somewhat. Do not be late again. Perhaps our conversation last night softened him up a bit, because I was sure I was going to be late to get. I was sure I was going to get Demerits for being late. I give a quick nod, not wanting to say anything else that might set him off again. Good, now let's continue where we left off before this impertinent interruption. I grumbled to myself, but this could have gone a whole lot worse. He's still awfully rude, though. He is rude. Alright, elective classes. For some reason, today's classes took a lot out of me. It's still pretty early. The rest of the student body is still out socializing in the courtyard, but all I want to do is take a nap. I'm about to flop onto my bed face first when I notice a folded piece of paper placed neatly on my pillow. Mysterious notes are starting to become familiar scenario, but this time it's in my room. This means this person did not just slip this under my door. My privacy was invaded. I unfold the note cautiously as it might explode something in my face. It's the same hastily scrawl from the last note I'd received, the same warning tone, except this time I know who sent it. Dex. We need to go talk to him. Oh shit. Ooh. Dex was in my room. A surge of anger rises within me and I propel myself out of bed. I need to confront Dex right now. I storm out of my room, but I haven't even stopped to think about how I'm going to find Dex. I have no idea which part of the dorm hall he lives in, nor do I have any idea what classes he takes. However, I'm fueled by righteous anger, so these little complications do nothing but slow me down. I start by asking every single person I come across if they know where Dex could be. Not surprisingly, most people don't seem to know who he is at all, and if they do, they have no idea where he hangs out after classes. In the summer court, I question a group of older students. Why don't you try dowsing? What's that? Aren't you supposed to be the oracle? Well, I haven't learned everything yet. Then I guess you'd better start getting up to speed. Okay, rude. But she's right, I don't know what dowsing is, but if it can help me find Dex, I will learn it. There are always students practicing in the Azurite classroom after hours, so I figure my best bet is to find someone to assist me here. I'm pleasantly surprised to find Professor Balin chatting with some students at his podium. If anyone can help me, he can. Ah, Miss Adonis, what brings you here? I have a topic I want to ask you about. Oh, what topic? What is dowsing? Dowsing? Well, that's an easy answer. It's a technique used to locate objects and minerals such as gemstones or metals that are buried underground. Minerals? Is that all it can locate? What are you trying to locate, Miss Adonis? I hesitate to answer. I could tell the headmaster everything, but the notes and about finding out what Dex had sent them, he could easily order Dex to answer all his acts. Wow, he could easily order Dex to answer for his actions, but just as I'm about to spill everything, I start to feel a little silly. Is Dex really a danger to me, or is it just a frivolous squabble between students? Would I seem like I'm abusing my relationship with the headmaster just to punish someone for petty misdeeds? For some reason, the headmaster's opinion is important to me. Perhaps it would be better to get information I need and handle this myself. Is everything okay? Yeah, sorry, I guess I was just wondering if it's possible to locate people instead of objects. It is possible, but only for those gifted with the proper mental I don't know what that word was. I clicked too quick. Someone like yourself, for instance. How is it done? With this, the headmaster reaches into his coat pocket and produces a purple crystal on a long, thin chain. This is a pendulum. It may have many uses in some ways of the mind, but it can also be used to locate people or objects. How can a pendulum help me find a person? The easiest method is to use a map. Concentrate on the person you'd like to find and the pendulum will swing in the right direction. It is not always very precise, but the smaller the area you are searching, the closer you can pinpoint a location. So if I wanted to find someone on campus, would that be small enough area? Certainly, and you could use the school map. Do you want to see how it works? Yes. Then follow me. He moves me towards one of the desks and motions me to sit. Luckily, I like to keep a copy of Sarenville map on my person. You never know when you may need it. He spreads the map out on his desk, and it's the same map of the school that I received in the welcome pack, except much larger and more detailed. Now, take the pendulum and concentrate on the person you wish to locate. Once you have the person in mind, the pendulum should start to move. I close my eyes and concentrate on Dex. Sure enough, I feel the pendant start to swing slowly in my grip. Don't stop concentrating. Wait until you feel the pendulum begin to swing purposely. I'm not exactly sure what that means until I feel it. The pendulum is definitely swinging harder in one direction. That's it. Now take a look. I open my eyes and see that the jewel on the pendant keeps swinging towards one particular spot on the map, the winter courtyard, so Dex must be there. For now, I'd better hurry before he decides to slip off somewhere else. Did you find what you were looking for? Yes, thank you, Professor. I hesitate, not wanting to bolt out the door after he had assisted me. The headmaster laughs. Go, find whoever it is you're looking for. With a grateful smile, I rush out the room and run towards the old wing. Excuse me. Do you want to explain this? Explain what? I wave the note around in front of me. He glances at it briefly before giving me a light shrug. Oh, that? Yes, this. What are you trying to do? Scare me into leaving the school? Something like that. But why? You said not to trust the council. What do you know about them, the council, that I don't? They're an organized authority faction. Surely you have some form of government where you come from. Do you trust your government? Well, I'm not. Well, you shouldn't. They will never have your best interest in mind. So all this is because of your government paranoia? You can call it paranoia if you like, but I prefer to keep my eyes open, and I'm not the only one around here that has concerns about it. I give a sigh of frustration because this conversation is getting me nowhere. Why did you enter my room? I wasn't sure if you'd gotten my message the first time. You seemed pretty calm the day outside your room. You mean when you showed up outside my door to make sure I was still here? Did you think that your note was going to make me run off? Something like that. How did you get in? Did you pick my lock? No, I did not pick your lock. Then how? Look, if you don't know enough about this place to know how someone might have gotten into your room, you probably shouldn't dismiss my warnings. What does that even mean? I'm done here. I did my job. It's not up to me to make you believe it. Your job? See you around, Oracle, if you make it, that is. He disappears into the darkness, leaving me standing there, mouth agape. That was weird. Now we're just gonna go do something else. We're not even gonna say anything about what happened. We're just gonna boop. I guess go to the courtyard. I'm walking purposely through the halls and I run smack into another student. Pain shoots through me and I look up to see that I've run into a tall girl standing in the middle of the hallway. The pain I'm feeling has come from running straight into her, which is showcasing a chunky bracelet covered in large stones. That thing must be made of lead. This will probably leave a bruise. Oh, sorry. I begin my apology but stop short. The girl doesn't react to our collision at all. In fact, she isn't even looking at me. She's just standing there, gazing ahead blankly. Hello, are you okay? No answer, just stares. I hesitantly walk away from the girl, not sure how to react, but the strange behavior, perhaps should I tell someone? The dorm matron is likely in the common room at this time. I may be able to report what I saw there. I stop by the common room and hear a loud commotion coming from the inside. I peek my head in and Cinder arguing with another girl, while arguing at the other girl. What is wrong with you, Eleni? You've been more flaky than usual lately. I'm hesitant to approach Syndra and even more hesitant to interrupt whatever drama is happening between her and her friend, but I really need to find the dorm matron. Hey, have you seen the matron? No, which is why this is so annoying. She gestures towards the other girl with a huge sigh. She obviously is too concerned with whatever's going on with her friend to be rude to me. She's been acting crazy all day and I can't report it to anyone. That useless dorm matron is never around when you need her. I focus my attention on the other girl for the first time. She has the same gazed expression on her face as the girl from in the hall. Somehow, something is definitely wrong here. How long has she been acting like this? She was acting normal this morning, but now it's just this, and all I did was ask her where she got that hideous bracelet from, and she just stared at me. Wait, what bracelet? You mean you can't see the gargantuan gold monstrosity on her wrist? Ever since Susie started wearing one of all of her possessed follow suit, even the guy, it's very strange. Cinder keeps talking, but I'm fixated on the bracelet in question. It's the same one on the girl in the hallway is wearing. This is surely not a coincidence. We've got to get that bracelet off. That's what is causing this. What? I saw someone else wearing the same one and they are acting the same way. Cinder grasps the girl's arm and tries to pull the bracelet off, but it won't bulge. She looks at me expectantly, and I try as well. No use, something is keeping it on there. It's obviously part of magic. I've seen this sort of thing before. You can't take it off by normal means unless it's physically or magically broken. So unless you can either break that thing in half or break the curse, it's not going to just slide off. Let's look at power, force, and logic. Logic, power, force. Okay, we're going to do power. Try to read the bracelet for information. I should be able to get a read on the origins of this bracelet if I can concentrate on it. Maybe it will tell me who gave Eleni it in the first place. Cinder, sit her down. I want to examine the bracelet. Cinder gives me a confused look, but she complies, helping me move Eleni to the nearby chair. I place my hands on the bracelet and close my eyes, willing my mind to open up. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to read the object, but I need you to be quiet. I expect some sort of snarky retort, but I'm greeted by silence, and I suppose helping a friend is enough to calm Cinder's attitude for now. My fingers move over the intricate weave of the metal bracelet, and sure enough, I start to feel something from it. I see a small, mouthy-looking girl with long hair. I see Eleni talking to the girl holding the bracelet in her hands. Eleni is smiling, but the girl's face does not look friendly. Instead, her eyes look to seem glowing with eerie white. I feel hatred radiating off the smaller girl. So much of that I can no longer hold on to the item. I jerk my hand away from my visions are clear. Okay, that was really creepy. You weren't the one in there, but I think I know who gave the bracelet to Eleni. I describe what I saw to Cinder, who instantly snaps to attention at the description of the small girl with glowing eyes. Acantha. Acantha is a fury. They thrive on revenge. She always been a little dweeb, but my guess is she wanted to get back at those who picked on her. Honestly, furies can be pretty scary, and when they're mad, when she's lucky she didn't kill anyone. Didn't kill anyone yet. We don't know what her eventual plan is with these bracelets was. Well, now is a good time to find out. Cinder goes stomping off and covered in her own fiery rage. I give one last tentative look to Eleni, who was still standing looking confused, and I follow Cinder. We end up back at the dorm hall. Cinder finds what I presume to be Acantha's room and begins banging on it hard. A very small, very skinny girl answers the door. By the look of her, I'd never guessed she were the type to enact a complicated revenge scheme across the school, but perhaps that's why it works so well. Cinder wastes no time. She jerks the girl out of the room before she can retreat. She really is scary when she's angry. Okay, you little worm. Whatever it is you're doing to Eleni and the others, cut it off. I expect the girl to deny it or at least offer up some excuse, but she doesn't. She returns Cinder's fiery gaze with her own, except hers glows white. I take a little step back. This might get ugly. Why should I? They got what was coming to them. They should know better than to mess with Fury. Yeah, they're idiots, but you have no right. All I did was give them gifts that would make them more reasonable people. You removed all their emotions, you idiot. So what? They don't deserve to feel happy. They don't deserve to feel anything. Turn it off now. Make me. Okay, this is getting a little out of hand. It's clear we aren't getting anywhere. Maybe I should do something, or maybe it's best I just let them handle it. I can't let these two kill each other, no matter how surely they both may be. I am in no position to pull them apart. I need help. I have no idea what one angry Fury and what one angry Ifrit can do to me. I need to find someone else that can stop this and fast. I run down the hall looking for someone that may be able to call for help. I practically collapse with relief when I see Professor Balin in the hallway chatting with another teacher. If anyone can cool off two emotional radiance, it's him. Professor Balin, come quick. I begin to explain the situation to him, but at the mention of the Fury, Professor Balin seems to need little more information. Show me. Thankfully, we arrive before either one of them has managed to kill each other, but they surely are close. They are screaming, eyes alight. They are angry in the hallway. Professor Balin produces a long, loud whistle, much different from the one I heard the first day. This one clearly has more power behind it. Immediately, Cinder and Acantha stop, looking stunned. Both of you, to my office, now. I've never seen the side of Professor Balin. He is actually quite formidable. The two girls comply, walking zombie-like towards the hall. Before leaving, the headmaster turns to me. Thank you for coming to get me. You have no idea the damage of a Fury and an Ifrit can do when they have an outburst like that. I'd like to reward you with 10 merits for your good judgment. Now I'd better get busy. He strides off at the angry pair, and I do not envy that lecture they're about to get. and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.